Grandma Debbie here. So I just thought I would jump on and just do a little chit-chatting today and kind of talk a little bit about what I have on my mind. And I'm going to be doing it while I am making a cake. I'm just using a boxed cake mix, and I'm following the instructions on the back, and that's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to make a buttercream frosting to go on top. But I just thought, I would just talk to you about, I don't know, stuff. So, school's about to start here, and things are going to get really busy and crazy, I'm sure, for a lot of people. And, how do you take care of yourself when you get so overwhelmed and busy? There's a couple things that I do. I love to read. I love to cross stitch. And so when I start feeling really stressed, I will pull out a good book. I will pull out one of my cross stitch projects and work on it for a while. Or I'll turn on a comedy. I love to, when you get really stressed, a good laugh is really, really kind of helpful to you. So those are some of the things that I do. Because, life happens and we all get really, really stressed. Okay, so I put the cake mix in here, and I'm not really going to show you a whole lot because, well, it's a cake mix out of a box. So, I'm going to add, though, a cup of water. Once again, that's what the recipe calls for. So back to what I was saying now. Things just always seem to get really stressed out around this time of year. And, especially when school starts and then the fall hits and you've got the holidays, and it just seems like it's a never-ending roller coaster sometimes. When my kids were little, things got so hectic sometimes for us that we had to have a rule that whatever went on the calendar first was what we did, and we didn't deviate from that, because unless, I shouldn't say we didn't. If the kids had something really extremely important to do and they had to do it and there was no option, then of course that took precedence over any and everything that we did. And, so we had to be cognizant of that. But otherwise, if we were invited to a party and we already had something else on our calendar, that other thing, we had to decline the party invitation because things were just too crazy for us. And so, that was just the way we had to get through the holidays. But, things happen, and so of course we would do whatever we could. Let me wash my hands real quick. So, but one thing that my husband and I always did was we always tried to make time for each other. And, it was really important to us that we had date night. And we didn't have a lot of money, so sometimes our date nights were just staying home and just visiting with each other. But we did have some rules that we followed when we did our date night. One of them was we didn't go to the movies. And the reason why is because what happens at the movies? You're sitting side by side to each other and you can't talk. I mean, you can, I guess. There are people that do talk, but you kind of get that look, or you get the usher coming up and telling you to be quiet. So, we decided no movies, not for date night. We would go to the movies, we just didn't consider it as date night. Instead, we would do things together. We would go to a restaurant, if we had a babysitter. If not, we stayed home. We sometimes would make a dinner for the kids, get them to bed, then we'd make a separate dinner for ourselves, and we would just sit there and talk. Or we would start a fire and sit in front of the fire and just talk and just chit-chat with each other and catch up. So, and then when cell phones became a thing, they weren't a thing when our kids were little. We've been married for over 40 years, so cell phones were not in existence. And I know some of you are going, what? No cell phones? How did you survive? So we managed. But now that cell phones are in existence, we go out to lunch every Friday. That's our date night or date lunch. And we made a rule, no cell phones. We do pull our cell phones out and we set them next to us. And we do have an exception to that rule, and that is if our kids call or our grandkids call, we answer because they're our kids. We have to. There's probably an emergency. And so we do call or we do answer. And you know, that works for us. But we still maintain to the no movies idea. And I'll be honest with you, I rarely go to the movies because most of the movie theaters here locally where I live, they have those reclining seats. And all I do is the minute those lights go down, I fall asleep. And so why spend the money to take a good nap? I can take a nap at home and for a lot less. And I can make movie theater popcorn. I can do all that if I want. But the nice part about watching a movie at home is that the sections I miss, I can go back and watch again and catch up that way. So we do things. Oh, my oven just beeped, so it's preheated already. So, you know, there are things that we do. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and beat this and get going. Okay, so that was about 2 minutes, which is what the recipe calls for, that I beat the cake. So back to what I was saying though, you know, things get hectic. We need to take care of ourselves first, because if we're not doing well, then we're nothing to the family. We just can't, you know, you can only give so much. And so you have to really, really make for sure that you put yourself first. And, you know, that's important. And secondly, you know, maintain those relationships with your significant other, your spouse, your partner, whatever name you call them by. You got to make for sure that you take care of those relationships as well. Especially, you know, as things get crazy and busy, you know, because they're important to us, and we need to just take care of them. And also, you know, something I've noticed as, like I said, I've been married for over 40 years. I know that a lot of couples tend to divorce when the youngest one goes away to college, or you become empty nesters for whatever reason. And I start wondering why. What happened? Why is that going on? Why? And I realized that it was because they didn't cultivate that relationship. Instead, they were sitting across the table from each other and going, who's this stranger person? Who's this person that's sitting at the table with me? They didn't know each other. And that to me is so sad, because, you know, you got married or you got together for a reason, and to let something as so simple as not cultivating a relationship, to watch it end, is just sad. And I get it. There are other reasons why marriages don't work. I understand that. There's other reasons why couples call it quits and move away from each other. I get that. I understand that. I've had lots of friends who have done that, and I've watched them struggle and go through those hurts and those things. And, you know, there's things that I would love to do for them and to help make it better, but there's not much I can do other than be there and be supportive. So, but you know, as I was saying though, we're gonna things get busy around this time, or at least they do for me. And you know, kids have lots of things going on. They've got homework, they've got, you know, activities in school, and you know, you still need to also make time for family. You know, make it a priority to at least once a week sit down to dinner and enjoy each other's company. I mean, it's not always easy because kids do get so active and they're so busy, but make it a priority to at least sit down and have a meal together. You'd be amazed at what you find out when you prioritize, when you put some priority behind you know, getting together with your kids and stuff, and just finding out about their day, finding out what's going on. I mean, I did have one rule in my family when my kids were little. is if I asked them what they did that day and they said nothing, that was an unacceptable response, because you're going to tell me you sat in class and didn't do a darn thing? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. So, you know, they had to tell me what went on at school. You know, but at the same time, you need to be attentive and listen to whatever they're telling you, because it's interesting. You don't know what you're going to find out about them. So, you know, take a moment and listen. I got chocolate on my feet. So I just kind of wanted to get together and just do a little chit-chatting about life in general and things that are going on, and see where you are and let you know where I am, and you know what's going on, because we are going to be heading into some busy seasons. I do have some really fun recipes coming up for the fall, and I'm hoping that you stick around for those. I've got some great ideas, but once again, if you have any ideas and you have any thoughts, please share them. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's a recipe you want to see. I have lots of recipes. I have lots of older recipes and things. So just let me know what you want, and I will try to accommodate. So my cake is in the pan, and I'm just using a casserole pan, and I'm gonna get it in the oven. And when it's done, I'll bring it back and let you know how it looks. All right. Thanks. Have a great day. Okay, so I've gotten the cake out of the oven and it is cold, and we're going to make the frosting now. And I'm just making plain white buttercream frosting, you know, the one you use the on the powdered sugar box. Nothing special, nothing spectacular. So got my powdered sugar in a bowl, and I'm adding some milk. Once again, it's just the same recipe that's on the box, so it's not anything spectacular. I've got 2 cubes of butter to equal out the cup, and I've put in 2 teaspoons of vanilla and a little bit of salt. And I've said this before, but I use the pink salt. It gives everything just a little different taste, but it's delicious, and that's why I use it. But if you don't have pink salt, use whatever salt you happen to have. It doesn't really matter as long as it's salt. Okay, so I've got the butter going. So as I was saying though, you know, things are kind of different right now going on, and you know, I'm gonna turn the blender on, or the mixer on, so you're not gonna hear it. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more milk because it's not coming out as creamy as I want it. I've only added 2 tablespoons, so now I'm gonna add 2 more. All right, it's gonna get loud again. Okay, so I think that it is ready to go on the cake. And this is what it looks like. So I'm gonna get going on frosting. So today my arms are a little sore. Part of my self-health care is I've been trying to work out a little more often, because it's important, first off, that we take care of ourselves. And so part of my routine now is to work out every day. And I did strength training today, and so my arms are like killing me, but in the end it's worth it, so I do it. I have a good time working out, and it helps me out a lot, keeps me healthy, and you know, it makes me feel good. I don't know what your routine is, but my routine is that I try to do a couple days a week. I try to do cardio, and then a couple days a week I try to do strength training. And then I try to get in as many steps as I possibly can in a typical day. I'm not always really good at that part. So, but I try. That's all that matters, right? So, now I don't know about you, but I happen to love frosting. So there is absolutely no amount of frosting, in my opinion, is too much. There's too little, but never too much. So, which I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but you know, I love cake, I love frosting. This is my kryptonite. And so there's never enough frosting in my personal opinion. And I'm sure that there are people who will disagree with that. But in my, so back to what I was saying about self-care, so what makes you feel good? Do you like to work out? And if so, what routine do you use? Do you use a specific workout routine? Do you lift weights? Do you jog? Do you cycle? What do you do in a typical day that keeps you healthy? Also, do you watch your diet? I try real hard. I'm trying to incorporate more fruits and vegetables into my diet, which isn't too hard because I love both. Also, do you get enough water in your diet? It's amazing how many people don't drink enough water in a typical day. And then they wonder why they're dehydrated. And I am really bad about it in the winter. In the winter, I forget to drink a lot of water because it's cold outside and I don't give it much thought. During the summer, I'm much better at it because it's warm, first off, outside, so I'm thirsty. But otherwise, the fall also, I'm probably a little bad at that in the fall as well. But, so let me know, because it's so important that we take care of ourselves. We don't help anybody if we don't take care of ourselves first. Okay, so I don't generally do this, but I thought it would be fun. I'm going to add some sprinkles to this. Yeah, it's looking really good. I'm sure it's going to taste delicious. I love chocolate cake. So, all right, here is what the cake looks like. Can't wait to have a piece of it. So I'm going to get this in the refrigerator and have it cool off a little bit more. But once again, I want to thank you for coming along with me on this journey and listening to me blabber on and blabber on. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and share. So I hope that you have a great day and that everything's going good. And I'll talk to you again soon.